Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we dig into the week's top cybersecurity news.
That's right.
And this week, oh boy, we've got a story that sounds like it's ripped straight from a spy thriller.
Uh,
A venture capital firm, managing billions no less, gets hit with a so-called sophisticated social engineering attack. Kind of ironic, don't you think?
yeah.
And hold on your bats, folks, because we've got a hacker group with a name you won't believe, causing quite a stir.
Can't wait to hear about this.
And of course, no cybersecurity deep dive would be complete without talking about AI, which is making waves, leaving some wondering if their jobs are on the line.
Right. AI is everywhere these days.
Our cybersecurity expert is here with us today, ready to guide us through these choppy digital waters.
Happy to be here.
Let's start things off in Myanmar, where a massive multinational cybercrime crackdown is going down.
Ugh.
China, Thailand, and Myanmar are joining forces to take down cyber scam centers operating within Myanmar's borders. And get this, Thailand alone estimates they might need to repatriate something like 7,000 to 10,000 people.
Wow. That's the population of a small town. How have these operations flown under the radar for so long? I mean, to reach that kind of scale, they must have had some serious infrastructure and organization.
It really makes you think.
And it makes you wonder about potential corruption. Who's been turning a blind eye?
That's a good question. And it's not just about shutting down servers and websites here. We're talking about unraveling a complicated web of human trafficking and exploitation.
Right.
Imagine the logistical and ethical nightmare of repatriating thousands of people.
Absolutely. It's a humanitarian crisis intertwined with cybercrime. But what I find really interesting is China's involvement. They've typically been hesitant to, interfere in other countries' affairs. So this suggests they see these scams as a serious enough threat to warrant direct action.
I wonder if this signals a change in their approach to cybercrime globally. Maybe they're starting to realize that in the digital world, everyone's interconnected and we need to work together.
All right, let's switch gears to a story that's a little closer to home for the venture capital world. Insight Partners, a firm with a staggering $90 billion under management, revealed that they were targeted in what they call a sophisticated social engineering attack.
Oh, wow. It's a stark reminder that nobody is immune. It doesn't matter how big or well-resourced you are. And that word sophisticated, it's doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Right.
I'd love to know exactly what tactics were used. Was it spear phishing, a compromised account?
Oh.
Lately, these social engineering attacks have become so personalized, so targeted.
It does feel like a breach of trust, especially in finance where relationships are everything. Plus, they still haven't confirmed if any data was actually stolen.
Exactly. And that uncertainty, it's got to be causing major anxiety for both Insight Partners and their portfolio companies. Can you imagine having to tell investors that their sensitive financial data might be in the hands of cybercriminals?
I can't. The damage to their reputation could be huge.
Exactly. This could have a ripple effect on future investments and partnerships. And it really highlights the importance of not just technical security measures, but comprehensive security awareness training for everyone at every level.
Couldn't agree more. It's not enough to just have the latest fancy firewall or intrusion detection system.
Yep.
You need to build a culture of security awareness where everyone understands the risks and the role in minimizing them.
You're absolutely right.
Speaking of unconventional tactics, let's talk about the hacker group, Puppy Girl Polycule. They're claiming to have stolen thousands of files from Lexipol.
Lexipol.
Yeah, Lexipol. They're a company that provides policy manuals for law enforcement agencies here in the U.S. I mean, seriously, that name alone.
It definitely makes you do a double take.
Right. Makes you wonder what's going on.
So here's where it gets interesting. Lexipol has faced some criticism, right? Some folks accuse them of promoting bias in their policies and harming marginalized communities. So, is this hacktivism? Are these hackers driven by a desire for social justice? Or is there more to the story?
It's a head-scratcher for sure. On one hand, you have a group with a, well, let's call it a quirky name, targeting a company involved in law enforcement policy. It's hard to take them seriously. But on the other hand, leaking sensitive law enforcement documents, that's pretty serious stuff.
It is.
Could have serious consequences.
I think it's a bit early to label them as hacktivists. We've seen cases where hackers have used social justice as a cover for more nefarious motives. We need to figure out their real goals before jumping to conclusions. But regardless of their motivation, this whole incident definitely highlights a growing trend of cyber attacks targeting law enforcement, and it shows the potential fallout from these kinds of breaches.
It's like something out of a movie, like Digital Robin Hoods,
Yeah.
taking on the system. It's fascinating, but also a little unsettling. Makes you wonder, who watches the Watchmen in the digital age?
Right. It's a valid question, and it underscores the importance of transparency and accountability, not just in law enforcement, but in all institutions that hold power and influence in our increasingly digital society.
Okay, gamers, this next one's for you. Malware, hiding in video games. Valve, the company behind Steam, recently pulled a game called Pirate Fi after it was discovered to contain malware.
That's a bummer.
Talk about a plot twist, right?
Yeah. This is why you got to be careful about downloading games from shady websites. But the concerning part is this was on Steam, a platform that millions trust.
Exactly. And we're not talking about a quick antivirus scan here. Valve actually recommended a full system scan, maybe even a complete reformatting of your computer. That's a big deal.
It is. It shows just how sneaky malware can be, disguised as a harmless game, playing on people's desire for entertainment. And this isn't just about gamers either. Cybercriminals are always coming up with new ways to spread malware. Malicious email attachments, compromised websites, even seemingly harmless downloads.
It's a reminder that we can't let our guard down even when we're just browsing the web, checking email, or downloading apps.
Exactly. Cybersecurity isn't just an IT issue anymore. We all need to be aware and play a part in staying safe. After all, the weakest link in any system is often the human element. So true. Now, this next story has been making headlines. South Korea has decided to ban new downloads of a Chinese chatbot called DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, huh?
Yeah, apparently there were some pretty big privacy concerns.
Makes sense. This is part of a growing trend, you know. Countries are starting to push back against the data collection practices of foreign tech companies, especially those based in China.
I see.
There's a growing worry that personal data collected by these apps could be accessed or misused by foreign governments, creating national security risks.
It's tricky, right? Because these technologies can be useful. People enjoy these chatbots, they find them helpful. But at what cost? Where's the line between convenience and our privacy?
It's the million-dollar question, and there's no easy answer. It's a balancing act between innovation and protecting our rights. This ban just highlights how urgently we need clear international regulations around data privacy and how data flows across borders. It does feel like the Wild West of data privacy right now, with everyone trying to stake their claim and make their own rules. It's going to take a lot of cooperation and negotiation to create a system that works for everyone.
Absolutely. We need a global framework that ensures data is handled responsibly and ethically, regardless of where it comes from or where it ends up.
Okay, let's talk about a legal battle brewing between a bunch of media giants and an AI startup called Cohere. These media companies are accusing Cohere of using their content without permission to train its AI models.
Interesting.
This lawsuit is fascinating because it really gets to the heart of the debate over copyright and fair use in this age of AI. How do we protect intellectual property rights when AI models need massive amounts of data to learn? Can these companies claim ownership over the very data that enables AI to generate new content?
Right.
It's a paradox, isn't it? The media companies say Cohere is stealing their content, but Cohere says its AI is creating something new and original.
Yeah, not just copying existing stuff. This case could set a major precedent for how AI is developed in the future.
Absolutely.
If the media companies win, it could really stifle innovation. AI developers might not be able to get the data they need to train their models. But if Cohere wins, well, it could raise some concerns about plagiarism and whether original content loses value.
It's a clash between the old and the new.
Mm-hmm.
Established industries versus disruptive technologies. It'll be fascinating to see how the courts deal with these uncharted waters.
I agree. It's going to be very interesting. This case really highlights the need for, some clear legal guidelines around AI and data usage. We're in uncharted territory, and the outcome could have huge implications, not just for the tech industry, but for creative industries too.
It's true. Technology moves so fast, and the law always seems to be playing catch-up.
Right.
We're constantly trying to create rules for things that didn't even exist a few years ago.
Right.
But hey, amidst all this legal drama and cybercrime chaos, there's actually a bit of good news.
Oh.
AI-focused cybersecurity companies are attracting billions in investments. Yeah. Companies like Dream, SailPoint, and Palo Alto Networks are seeing a surge of interest from investors who clearly believe in AI's potential to revolutionize the cybersecurity landscape.
It's not just hype either. AI is proving itself to be incredibly effective at detecting and responding to threats, way better than traditional methods.
Right.
For example, using machine learning to analyze network traffic patterns.
Okay.
AI can spot anomalies that would be practically impossible for humans to catch, potentially stopping breaches before they even happen.
It's like having a digital guardian angel watching over your network, constantly learning and adapting.
Yeah, in a way. But it's important to remember AI is a tool, not a magic solution. It's not going to solve all our cybersecurity problems overnight. We still need human expertise to interpret the data, make decisions, and put strategies into action.
So for all the cybersecurity pros out there who are worried about AI taking their jobs, it sounds like there's still hope.
Oh, absolutely. I actually think AI is going to create more opportunities than it eliminates. We'll need skilled professionals to develop, implement, and manage these AI-powered systems. And as AI takes over more of the routine tasks, cybersecurity professionals can focus on, higher-level strategic thinking, problem-solving.
So it's less about job takeover and more about a shift in the skills that are needed.
Exactly. It's all about adapting to the changing landscape and using the power of AI to enhance what humans can do.
And this AI-driven momentum isn't limited to startups either. We're seeing big players making moves as well. There are reports that Bain Capital and others are considering a takeover of Trend Micro, a Japanese cybersecurity firm currently valued at over $8 billion.
Wow. If that happens, it'll be a major consolidation in the cybersecurity market. It shows that the bigger companies are realizing the value of specialized cybersecurity expertise, and they're willing to shell out big bucks to get it.
Cybersecurity is a hot market right now, and AI is a big reason for that. But with all this investment and innovation, what does the future hold for cybersecurity jobs?
That's a question everyone's asking, and it's understandable to feel some anxiety about how AI might impact the job market. But I think it's important to look at AI as an opportunity, not a threat. There's an interesting article by cybersecurity expert Paulius Grinkevicius for Cyber News, and he makes a good point. He argues that AI is actually automating entry-level coding jobs at a faster rate than manual labor jobs.
That's fascinating. So what does that mean for people who want to get into cybersecurity? Is the entry point getting higher?
It could, yes, but it also means that the skills you need to be successful in cybersecurity are changing. We'll need people who can not only code, but also understand how AI systems work and how to use them effectively. This means developing skills in things like data analysis, machine learning, and even ethical reasoning.
So the bar is getting higher, but the rewards are probably going to be greater too.
Exactly. Cybersecurity is becoming more specialized, more sophisticated, and those who can adapt and learn new skills will be in high demand.
And it's not just about the technical stuff either, right? You mentioned soft skills earlier.
Absolutely. As AI takes over more routine tasks, human skills like critical thinking, communication, and problem solving become even more crucial. We need people who can think outside the box, communicate clearly, and work together to solve the complex challenges of cybersecurity in this age of AI.
So it's about being well-rounded, combining technical knowledge with human skills.
Precisely. And that's what makes this field so exciting. It's not just about the technology, it's about people, it's about protecting our digital lives, about shaping the future.
Okay, let's shift gears for a bit and talk about something that's been gaining a lot of attention in cybersecurity: bug bounty programs.
Bug bounty programs are a fantastic way for companies to tap into a global community of security researchers. By offering rewards for finding and reporting vulnerabilities, companies can identify and fix weaknesses before they're exploited by bad actors.
It's a win-win, right? Companies get to strengthen their security, and ethical hackers get to test their skills, gain recognition, and even make some money.
Exactly. And for anyone aspiring to work in cybersecurity, bug bounty programs are a great way to get real-world experience, build up your portfolio, and catch the eye of potential employers.
It's like a real-life training ground where you can put your skills to the test and make a difference.
You got it. It's a great way to bridge the gap between theory and practice and prove to potential employers that you've got what it takes.
And speaking of standing out in a competitive job market, let's talk about personal branding in the cybersecurity industry.
In today's digital world, having a strong online presence is so important, especially in a field like cybersecurity where your expertise and reputation are everything. Building your personal brand is about showcasing your skills, your knowledge, and what you've contributed to the community.
It's about establishing yourself as a thought leader, someone who's passionate about cybersecurity and actively engaged in the conversation.
And it's not just about self-promotion either. It's about sharing what you know, helping others, and giving back.
So how can someone go about building a personal brand in cybersecurity?
There are lots of ways. Start a blog, share your insights on social media, write articles, speak at conferences, even create your own podcast.
Yeah.
The key is to be consistent, Be yourself and offer something valuable to your audience.
Makes sense.
And remember, building a personal brand takes time and effort. It doesn't happen overnight, but the rewards can be huge, both professionally and personally.
All right, let's take a quick look at some other headlines that caught our eye this week. We saw a report about ransomware attacks increasing, targeting businesses of all sizes. That's a worrying trend because ransomware can be incredibly disruptive and expensive.
It is. And it reminds us that cybercriminals are constantly changing their tactics, always finding new ways to exploit weaknesses. Organizations need to be proactive, implement strong security measures, educate their employees about the risks, and have a plan in place for responding to incidents.
We also saw news about a new vulnerability found in a popular software application that millions of people use. These kinds of vulnerabilities just highlight how important it is to keep your software patched and up to date.
Software companies are always working to find and fix vulnerabilities, but it's up to us, the users, to protect our systems by installing those updates as soon as they're available.
It's a never-ending race.
It really is.
And lastly, there was a story about researchers who developed a new AI-powered tool that can detect fake news with amazing accuracy.
That's really encouraging, especially now with so much misinformation and disinformation online. AI tools like this could play a vital role in fighting fake news and helping people be more informed and discerning.
It's like a digital lie detector, helping us cut through the noise and find the truth.
In a way, yes, but it's important to remember that even the most advanced AI tools aren't perfect. We still need to be critical thinkers and carefully evaluate information, no matter where it comes from.
It really does feel like we're living in a sci-fi movie sometimes, you know.
I know what you mean.
AI battling fake news, hackers going after law enforcement, and countries joining forces to take down these cybercrime rings. It's a crazy world out there.
It is, and it certainly keeps us on our toes. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from our conversation today.
With that.
Complacency is dangerous when it comes to cybersecurity.
Right.
We have to constantly be adapting, learning, and upgrading our defenses.
Absolutely. Speaking of evolving, we talked about how AI is affecting cybersecurity jobs, and I think there's a lot of fear and uncertainty around that.
There is, and it's understandable.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that fear comes from not really understanding what AI is and how it's being used in cybersecurity.
Okay.
AI isn't some, super intelligent being coming to steal our jobs. It's a tool. A very powerful tool, but still a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we should be thinking about how to use it to our advantage.
Exactly. AI can automate those tedious, repetitive tasks, giving security professionals more time to focus on strategic and complex issues. It can analyze huge amounts of data, finding patterns and anomalies that humans might miss, and it can help us respond to threats faster and more effectively.
So it's not about AI replacing humans. It's more like AI working with humans, enhancing what we can do.
That's a much better way to put it. We need to start seeing AI as a partner, not a competitor. And that means developing the skills and knowledge we need to work effectively with AI systems.
So what kind of skills are we talking about? What should cybersecurity professionals be focusing on to stay ahead of the game in this AI-driven world?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to have a solid understanding of the fundamentals of cybersecurity.
Okay, the basics.
Exactly. Things like network security, cryptography, vulnerability assessment, and incident response. These are the foundation.
So don't throw away those cybersecurity textbooks just yet.
Nope, not yet. But in addition to those core skills, you'll need to develop a deeper understanding of data science and machine learning. You need to know how these AI systems work, how they're trained, how to interpret what they tell you.
And it's not just about the technical stuff, right? We talked about soft skills earlier.
Absolutely. As AI handles more of those routine tasks, human skills like critical thinking, communication, and problem solving become even more important. We need people who can think outside the box, communicate clearly, and work together to tackle the complex challenges of cybersecurity in the age of AI.
So it's about being well-rounded, combining technical expertise with those human skills.
Exactly. And that's what makes this field so exciting. It's not just about bits and bytes. It's about people. It's about protecting our digital way of life. It's about shaping the future.
Well said. I think that's a great place to wrap things up. Cybersecurity is constantly changing, full of challenges and opportunities. But one thing's for sure, it's a field that's absolutely vital to our future.
I couldn't agree more.
And for all your cybersecurity needs, from news and insights to jobs and training resources, be sure to visit CybersecurityHQ. We have a newsletter that's read by over 70,000 cybersecurity professionals every week, plus our podcast and job board. It's your one-stop shop for everything cybersecurity. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.